stuff before that play got going. It was about 4 guys over there. So I would say along the edges is where they gave them most of their problems. Interior wise, I mean, Kinlaw was the biggest guy, obviously. They're the starters, at least out of the starting group. They were able to make some way there, at least in the run game. But if you're talking about where they got their pressure on Lamar, and really this Ravens offensive line has struggled throughout camp. But yes, I would say the edges is what gave them the most problems.
My next one is, did you travel to Minnesota for the joint practice? Yeah,
I did not. Yeah, I did not.
So I'm pretty sure you heard how that joint practice went from your colleagues that may have been up there. If you have heard anything, is there any similarity with what we deployed defensively and what the Vikings may have showed the Ravens offense defensively? Like, things they may have struggled on up there in Minnesota in that joint practice that they came back and say, similar scheme, we're going to work on this week.
Right. Like you said, I mean, I know the Commanders defensive coordinator is kind of from that same tree. So you're going to, I'm sure they saw some of the same things. It seemed like they had more trouble in Minnesota. I heard that Dallas Turner kind of had his way out there with Ronnie Stanley, and Rosengarten also struggled out there as well. So I think that's been kind of the common denominator with the Ravens right now is their tackles have struggled a little bit, although Ronnie hasn't been terrible to this point in camp. Rosengarten for sure has had I would say a below average camp, and that's kind of being kind. But it did seem, at least from what I heard, it seemed like the offense was able to do a little more against the Commanders than they were against the Vikings. Now, I was told that the Vikings were sending similar to the preseason game where both defensive coordinators, or both defenses, I should say, because Jesse Minter is the Ravens head coach, but he calls the defensive plays. Both sides were sending a lot of exotic blitzes in the preseason game. And from what I heard, it was more of the same in the joint practices. They had 2 joint practices against the Vikings on back-to-back days, so they got to see them a little more. I think against the Commanders, the blitz did give them some problems as well, especially when they overloaded that interception that Lamar threw to Sainristil to end the offensive session. That was an all-out blitz right there. Now, granted, I believe that was 4th down as well. So I think that was just the Commanders kind of pinning their ears back and Lamar having to just take that shot. But the blitz definitely, I would say, seemed like the common denominator from that Minnesota practice to this one is what gave the Ravens offensive line some troubles.
Okay, appreciate it. Go ahead, Deuce. Go ahead.
Yeah. So
okay.
No, hey, thank you. That I just want to tell you that's the most comprehensive to piggyback on what Brandon said, honest recap I've seen of any type of preseason game. So thank you so much for that. It helps us to get a feel for what's really going on, and I appreciate that. No doubt that you're from the area because you tell the truth. That's what we do. That's just what we do. So when you look at the Commanders versus Minnesota, name some players that I'm trying to say it in a way that fit, right? That look like they're on a professional, level. That, you know what I mean? That meets a certain standard from the Commander standpoint, and and then name some players that it was obvious that they needed to step their game up.
I would say, let me see. On the Commander side, like if I look at some of the DBs, I thought Darius Rush was impressive. I thought he had a few good reps, especially in one-on-ones. The Ravens have some wide receivers where like Rashad Bateman. I think I posted the clip of Bateman going up against Amik Robertson, and he did him bad granted, it's a slant route. And I always say one-on-ones, especially any route that goes across the middle in one-on-ones, it kind of is what it is. One-on-ones is a wide receiver drill. But Bateman and Zay, who didn't practice, I mean, these are two elite route runners that I watch every day, even against the Ravens defense. These guys can't be guarded one-on-one in that type of setting where there's that much space. It's just going to be a win for them every time. But I thought Darius Rush did a pretty good job. He went up against Jacoby Lane, who's been kind of the darling of the Ravens training camp. Jacoby Lane had some insane highlights this camp, just going up and kind of just helmet tapping a couple of these Ravens starters to the point to where these veteran corners are starting to get way more physical with Jacoby Lane because they're tired of getting put on highlights. And I thought Darius Rush did a pretty good job against him. Didn't, at least in the one-on-ones. Jacoby Lane, I think, went 0 for 2 or 0 for 3 in the one-on-ones, and at least 2 of those were against Darius Rush. I would say Dorrance Robertson, I mentioned him quite a bit. He looked good. Luvu obviously looked pretty good out there. If I went to the offensive side, Antonio Williams, I've yet this camp to see anybody beat Kyle Hamilton down the field in a one-on-one drill. And I just mentioned how one-on-one is a wide receiver drill, and I firmly stand on that. But Kyle Hamilton is the one defender that always makes it seem like he has the advantage. Most times these dudes can't even get off the line against Kyle Hamilton. And I watched Antonio Williams yesterday beat Hamilton right off the rip, off the line of scrimmage on a fade route. And his ability to show late hands, I love that from a rookie wide receiver. He did it again to Nate Wiggins, another starting corner, another really good DB for the Ravens. Antonio Williams was incredibly impressive to me in what I saw from him. I would say, Terry's Terry. And honestly, Jaden was really impressive to me despite having little to no time in the pass game. I mean, and I'm not even sugarcoating it. 85 to 90% of the pass plays in 11 on 11 were dead for the Commanders because they could not give him any time to do anything. But that 10%, that 10 to 15% that he did get time, he made something happen. He delivered a really good ball. He delivered a catchable ball, whether it was dropped or not. He did his part. So it was just good to see him go up against what I expect to be an elite defense this year with the Ravens, especially with that defensive line and them adding Calais Campbell and Trey Hendrickson, and Travis Jones is supposed to take another big step. I mean, he was going up against a top tier unit on the other side and really got to see what kind of the worst case scenario is going to look like for him. And I thought when he had opportunities, he did take advantage of them. I thought Craig Reynolds had a couple of solid runs. Chig definitely looked pretty good, and it looks like they're going to be pretty versatile with how they use Chig. He was moved around a lot, whether it was inside, outside. You could tell that they're going to put him in a lot of different positions.
That's exactly what I wanted. That's exactly what I wanted. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate the time.
Yep.
Cordell, when it comes to the offense and the play calls, just primarily that 10% and maybe the other 90%, what did you kind of see pre-snap, and what did you kind of see? Did Blau and the Commanders show anything in a sense where let's help out the O-line? Did you see some 12 personnel, some 13 personnel? Like, did you see anything that you can remember of David Blau and the Commanders trying to help out the pressure that was coming from the Ravens?
Yeah, I mean, I think at different times they did. They mixed up the personnel quite a bit. You see Jaden talking to his protection pre-snap quite a bit. Similar to the Ravens, it looks like the Commanders are trying to make a true commitment to going under center more. I wonder if maybe they have to pull back from that a little more than they'd like to, just to buy him some more time. Now, if the run game's working, then I guess you could still do that and live off of play action to kind of slow that rush down. But from what I saw yesterday, it didn't look like a lot of the under center stuff, at least when you talk pass plays from under center. He just wasn't getting a lot of time to really do that. And really, you can say the same thing for shotgun. I mean, it was just that kind of day. So it's really hard to assess if they were trying to do things to help him out. It wasn't working, so it's really tough to kind of answer that because I didn't see them. I'm sure they were trying, but it just didn't look like it was working for them. They just really weren't getting a lot of time. And a lot of those on those pass plays, guys were losing like quickly, very quickly. Whenever Trey Hendrickson wanted to get to the backfield, he got back there. And I've been able to watch Trey Hendrickson enough to this point in camp to know, all right, when he decides that this is a rep that he wants to go 100% on, you can tell. And every time I saw him really want to fire off, he was able to win right away. So yeah, they definitely mixed up their packages. And like I said, Jaden was communicative at the line. There were a couple of just like 2 and 3 man routes, which I don't even know how much that helps him. But if you're talking about like screen games and stuff like that, I didn't see a lot of the screen stuff. And I thought I would, especially considering how much that defense was getting in the backfield. I thought I'd see that, but didn't see a lot of that. It's just really tough to assess what they were trying to do. But I could tell you whatever they tried to do, it didn't work.
Got you. So it seems Antonio Williams had a great day yesterday. When it comes to Terry and Stephon Diggs, how did they fare in 1-on-1, 7-on-7, 11-on-11?
Well, yeah, I got to see a little bit of their one-on-ones from the far side because I was on the Ravens offense, Commanders defense side for one-on-one. So the Ravens have a really big facility out there. So
yeah, I can imagine.
It forces you to kind of be where your feet are a little bit. But I was able to kind of look across, and I definitely saw Diggs catch one during one-on-ones, catch a touchdown during one-on-ones. I saw Terry almost catch one. I mean, he caught it, but he wasn't able to get both feet down in bounds because he was pushed out. Terry caught a deep dig route in the team session. Diggs caught a couple of balls as well. I thought they were what I expected. I mean, Diggs knows how to beat man press. He knows how to beat off coverage. I mean, he's an incredible route runner. Terry, same thing. Terry has made a living on those vertical routes and those deep dig routes. I mean, he's got great hands. He's always been a really good contested catch receiver. So I thought both of those guys, when they got opportunities to get the ball, I mean, Diggs had the one drop that I recall, but other than that, I thought those guys were exactly as what I expected them to look like. I don't think skill, like in terms of their pass catchers, I think they're actually okay in that regard. It's just a matter of can they get those guys the ball. But again, they were without so many guys yesterday. Didn't really get to see, obviously, Krosky Merritt Bill isn't out there. Didn't see Rashad White out there. So Craig Reynolds and Katron Allen, those were the main 2 ball carriers in the backfield. So I would imagine guys like Bill and Rashad White, they'll be able to do more with them in the pass game as well. But with those guys not being out there, I think they were kind of limited in their external weapons outside of their tight ends and wide receivers. But I thought Terry and Diggs, I thought both of those guys were perfectly fine.
All right, just a couple more questions with the Ravens offense. What did you see from the rookie Sonny Styles? And what would be your assessment of the Commanders' safeties?
Well, I think, at least with Styles. With Styles, I like Styles. I think obviously his athletic ability speaks for itself. My thing with him is, and maybe this is a little bit of my fanhood coming out now. I would have gone differently in the draft, but when they went with him, I was like, okay, maybe they're going to utilize him similar to how the Ravens have utilized Kyle Hamilton, to where Kyle Hamilton has become a 3-level player. And you don't know where he's going to be. On any given day, he could be the best slot corner in the league. He could be the best blitz and safety in the league. He might be the best in the back third. Like I've seen Kyle Hamilton wear every hat you could wear on the defensive side of the ball and do all of those jobs well. I think Sonny has those same capabilities. I think he's at his best. And if you go back and watch his film at Ohio State, the film will tell you he's at his best. Number one, I think when he's lined up somewhere outside, when he's outside. And number two, I think he's able to be a guy that can blitz from the third level, that can do some of those delayed blitzes. I just don't think he's a straight up Mike linebacker. I don't think you can just go sit him down as a Mike linebacker and think you're going to get the best out of him. Playing Mike linebacker in the NFL is extremely, extremely tough. And I think you got to see that yesterday. This Ravens offense stresses a lot of those principles, especially to those guys in the middle of the field, because they run so many different crossers. So you don't really know where these guys are coming from. That Tez Walker touchdown, he was able to kind of find the soft spot on the third level on that defense, right behind Sonny, right in between those safeties. Like, that's exactly where he caught it in stride and was able to keep going and score what might be a 60-yard touchdown untouched. I just think Sonny is probably going to be best deployed if they can move him around and make him kind of this ultimate chess piece that it feels like the league is going to, and they've been trying to go that way for a while, but not every player that they thought could do it has been able to do it, at least at a high level. I think he has the athletic ability to be able to do it. He's playing fast, which you like, but sometimes playing fast could get you in trouble. They say if you're going to make a mistake, make it at 100 miles per hour. I firmly believe that. But in this league, that'll get you killed sometimes because you could end up going the wrong way. The Ravens have guys like that. Trenton Simpson, same thing. He came out of Clemson with a ton of athleticism, one of the faster linebackers in his class. And Simpson, he's entering year 4 right now, and he hasn't been able to stay on the field because I think in large part due to he's just easy to fool. He's easy to fool. You can play with his eyes, and he'll go wherever you want him to go. Yeah, he's going to go that way, 100 miles per hour. And from what I've seen it with Sonny in some of the first 2 preseason games, he has a little bit of that, not necessarily going the wrong way, but filling some of the wrong gaps, getting caught up in the flood a little bit too much, just a little lagging a little bit, which tells me he's thinking a little bit, what you expect from young guys. But I just think he'd be better deployed if they moved him around and allowed him to kind of make plays from different spots. In terms of the safeties, I mean, I think the safeties just kind of are what they are. They didn't give up a lot of huge plays outside of that Tez Walker touchdown, at least from what I saw. I think Nick Cross can be okay. I think he can be fine. But, I mean, safety has been a sore spot for this team since Sean Taylor. So, I don't know if it's going to be like the worst. Quan Martin he's all right. He's all right. But safety is still a position that long needs to be upgraded for the Commanders.
Cordell, thank you so much for taking the time to join us, to giving us the straight view of what you saw yesterday. And listen, man, like we understand, even here in Ashburn, we understand that you can't see everything, right? And some perspectives might be different just based on the eye views of the two, right? So we do appreciate you slicing it straight down the middle from yesterday's recap of what you saw on both sides. And shout out to Burgundy and Gold, man. Like, you ain't have your Burgundy and Gold shades on, so I absolutely appreciate that. You don't have Ashburn syndrome, none of that other stuff. So thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you guys having me for sure.
All right, man. Take care, Cordell.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That was like, you have to take it, right? A lot of you have to take it. It's not going to always be pretty. It's not going to always be what you want to hear, and it's not always going to be positive, and it's not always going to be negative. We're going to take a quick break. We got Candy at 10 o'clock, and then we're going to recap what our good guy Cordell told us right after this. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
Good morning. Good morning. We back. We back. Appreciate you guys staying patient with us. Hey, listen, we got Candy coming up in about 25 minutes, but I'm gonna use one of her lines. You guys better use your clues. Um, I done heard it twice this morning
That's why I've been asking the
of
question.
how we may deploy Sonny Styles.
Mm-hmm.
You better use your clues. If you missed Felix earlier in the show, when we end, you can go back and listen to it. But we just had Cordell on, and he kind of, was in the same lane as what Felix said. Sonny is a versatile guy. That's one of the things that I've noticed when I did do my film study. If you paid attention to Ohio State, when it came to him and Reese, they kind of switched roles like 6 games into the season, but they would still, deploy those guys across the, line of scrimmage, second level, and Sonny, especially with his drops getting to the third level. So just to give you a heads up, Felix mentioned Oweh it may be doubtful week 1. A calf strain, that stuff can linger. I don't think there's an exact timetable on, a full recovery, but he mentioned that they possibly may put Styles as your contained defender on the edge. And if you just heard Cordell, he said, man, he think the best way is to just let him pick his spots, put him at the end of the line of scrimmage, let him, just be versatile like a Kyle Hamilton, things of that nature. So, hey, listen, use your clues, ladies and gentlemen. We don't know nothing. We not out there every day. We're not paying attention to, we're not even able to see the walkthroughs in the evening. So who knows what Durante is really cooking up with this defense, and stuff like that. But what do you think about that? Like using your clues when it comes to Sonny Styles. What do you think about that?
You know what I think about when I hear about Sonny Styles this morning, Smoke, to be honest? On in chess, certain pieces have certain roles, right? That everybody can't move the same way.
Yeah.
Sonny Styles may not be a queen that can make every move, right? But he may be a knight that can make certain moves right now. But I think he can grow into that queen. Queen is the master chess piece, right?
Yeah.
And so I think he can grow into a queen, but I don't want him out there like the player that my man just was telling me. His eyes are all over the place, right? So I don't think Sonny is that. I think if you put Sonny in a spot with less responsibility right now, he grows into the other roles. That's what happened at Ohio State. He switched. He was new. And then he grew into those once he got that Patricia type coaching. And so are you going to give him that type of coaching? I don't know who's coaching the linebacker. Ken Norton. Ken Norton is old school. And so he's probably opening the whole fire hose at Sonny and trying to see what he can grasp, and then he'll put him in a spot. And I think we may see what those spots could be. But I mean, everybody's going to get beat. You had one play that I've heard of in the last 2 weeks where he may have gotten beat, right? And so I just think it's interesting, the discourse on Sonny, but I think I like the fact that he's there because it's going to cover some sins for us, right? If we need to have our big guy out the first week, that's a place where Sonny can cover. And that's why you choose him in the top 10, because you can do multiple things, not just okay, right? It's not a Nick Allegretti situation where he's just, I can play it. No, I can play well in this position. I just need to know where you want me to go, dog, and I can go do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm okay with it.
Yeah, so just to bring it back in, I understand the timeline went crazy yesterday. It made some of us crash out, like, oh my goodness, doom and gloom. But we done heard from two people so far this morning. And basically what I took from it, one is a Commanders insider in Felix, and one is a Raver insider, which is a Commander fan, and Cordell, that I don't think it's as bad as what we saw and heard yesterday. That's why it'd be a lot of overreactions. It'd be a lot of clickbait. But we are going to have another set of eyes that was out there yesterday in Candy coming up at 10 o'clock that will give us a third view of being out there yesterday. Another Commander's insider. That's why I say we got to use our clues. Just to reel it back into the O-line one time, like, if you tell me Coleman, Paul, Galvin, Good
Hold on
Jones,
1
and
second, Smoke.
Connolly.
Hold on 1 second, Smoke. Before we go back into that O-line situation, let me just make a comment on what you just said. What you just told me, more parts of what we have been upgraded than the parts that are struggling.
Yeah.
Think about it. We're talking about wide receivers, right? Jaden's improvement. Ain't nobody even talking about Jaden's improvement. Nobody is even talking about that. They talked about the number 5 for 2 weeks, and then they started talking about the O-line. Jaden has been absolutely laser focused this whole offseason. Right? Your wide receivers are improved. Your receiving tight ends are improved. Right? Your defensive edges and linebackers are improved. And your corners and safeties are playing better than they played last year.
Mm-hmm. Still need to be upgraded, according
They
to
need
most.
to be upgraded, but they are playing better than what we saw them the last time we saw them.
Mm-hmm. And if you miss Felix, he still has this team without a Tunsil at 9 wins.
Yeah.
If you tell me that, I take 2 up and 2 down.
Yeah.
It could be 7 or 11.
Or 11.
You know, can we find 2 teams that, you know, that are say they favorite coming into the game that we absolutely walk away with? Or is it 2 teams that we are favored against and we don't walk away with the W? You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's why I say, like, I don't think the ceiling is falling, the clouds not burning. I don't know what I'm talking about. But like I still think there's some positivity when it's surrounding this team. You can't tell me, even with the injuries, like a lot of these guys are coming back. This roster is better than what they had. It's better. So we sustained injuries in the season last year. We're sustaining them in training camp and preseason this year. Maybe that's the luck of the draw. We got them in the season last year. There's no time to really put together plans throughout the week, and especially if these are multiple week injuries. But if you get them now, your plan is still intact going into week 1. Yes, it's still August, Deuce. Yes, it's August. September is Tuesday, but it's not September 13th. And that's where I say, and then even if it's September 13th, it's not October. It's not November. I want to be playing my best ball in November going into December. December going into January. You know we got a tough stretch of games the first 6 weeks. We know that. We got playoff teams littered throughout this schedule. We found out we're not one of those bottom third teams. We found that out 2 weeks ago. We went to Baltimore this week. Baltimore is a little ahead of schedule with us, but they had problems on the offensive line. I didn't expect to hear problems from their offensive line with their tackles. I did not expect that. Are they crashing and burning up there in 295, 30 minutes up the road?
But
I
hold
don't
on,
think
Smoke.
so.
Let me add to that. When I heard this morning that somebody picked up Foster Sorrell, like picked him up,
Come on now.
it's a lot of people having some issues in these offensive line. It made me think about it a little bit more creatively.
Yeah, that's what I said this morning. Like, there's a lot of issues around this league due to injuries, due to just bad play, stuff like that, man, when it comes to the trenches on the offensive side of the ball. So like I'm saying, like, this is a team that we just went against. And I believe it was Felix that brought up last year's joint practice against the Patriots, where it's like, whoa, hey, we the more veteran team, but we don't even belong on that field with them.
Right.
We're not getting that sentiment from yesterday. And this is a playoff contending team
Right.
that we went up against yesterday. Yes, they have a new system coming in offensively and defensively. Yes, they're trying to put Lamar under center just like we're doing. But that's up to these OCs. Both of these OCs are young. I believe Declan Doyle just turned 30. My OC is 31. First time, both of them first time calling plays. Now, that's where I'm at with it. It's not about forcing the system. It's about adapting the system to what the personnel is. Can these young coordinators do that? So like I say, man, I think they said it's 32 new coordinators littered between offense and defense in this league right now. 32. There are 32 teams, meaning there are 64 coordinators. Some of your coordinators are head coaches. Speaking of Baltimore head coach, speaking of Mike McDonald in Seattle, those are your coordinators / head coaches. They're calling the plays defensively. Let's not talk about the guys that are on the offensive side, Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, things of that nature. So more than half of the actual coordinators was basically replaced. Well, half of them were replaced this year, offensively and defensively. So there will be some hiccups in the process. First 4 weeks, first 6 weeks. That doesn't dictate who you are. Yes, you can get an idea for the 6 games in of how a season may go. But I just saw the Colts last year start off 8-1. They lose a quarterback and they don't make the playoffs. You know what I mean? So, like, there are situations. I saw the Texans last year started out 1-4, 1-3, 1-4, somewhere around that round. Looked horrible. Was forced to play a backup. That backup went undefeated. CJ Stroud came in and took up where that backup left off at. They finished the season strong. They absolutely went further than a division winner that had a new head coach and coordinator than Jacksonville last year. They went further. So I know we sit up there, we panic. We put our brains together and say, oh man, we just ain't got a shot. I'm here to tell you we do have a shot. It's a week-to-week league. That's why Dan Quinn called for a mandatory practice on Monday and not a walkthrough. Because what we saw Saturday from the starting unit offensively, from the backups defensively, the backups offensively, it wasn't the standard. We go up to Baltimore. It was a stress test, if you ask me. I believe Dan Quinn, AP, David Blau, they stress test this offensive line yesterday. There are still opportunities out there to improve that unit. But what's wrong with a stress test in week 3 of preseason when you're 2.5 weeks away from game 1? That's my coach's coaching. Because there may be a time where a Cosme may miss a series or a game. There may be a time where Chris Paul missed a game. Allegretti may not start the season out. We know what Coleman injury history is. So why not stress test them now? This isn't week 2. This isn't week 5. This isn't week 10. So for everybody out there with the doom and gloom, miss me, AKA Smokey, with that. Miss me with it, bro. You still
Yeah,
with me, up?
and that's why I am the way that I am, Smoke. I was letting you get I want you to get your whole thing out because I wanted you to be able to say everything that was on your mind right then, right? And get it all out so that we can move forward, right? And that's why I've been the way that I am. I don't buy into the negativity, the negative drive-bys, and I just can't sit and accept that because realistically, I think people tell you when they don't know who you are, and they also tell you when they're afraid of who you are, right? By how they respond and react to you. And I think we see a lot of that in the world right now. And so we sit there and we go back and forth with people who have no idea what we. That's why I don't trip on that. Right? I just don't trip on that. I really don't, because the only time you want to come and talk to us is when you want to say something that you think you know, but you don't really have an answer to. So let you have your minute. And I'm okay with that. Do that, and as long as you don't mind me sitting back, and I don't have no answers for you.
Like speaking of that, right? You get these text messages. You get these contractors and you get these companies. They want to come in and give a free estimate. Free estimate. Free estimate. Right? Let's look at your plumbing. Let's look at your electricity. All that. I'm like, all right, cool, right? Because we had some, like I told y'all. Did I tell y'all we had to get our AC? Did I tell y'all had to get the AC?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, listen, like if you come on in. No, we need you to walk around with us for an hour. Walk around with you for an hour? No hour to be walking around with you where? Like this ain't Mike Tyson house. Like, why do I have to walk around with you the whole time? Right? Because they trying to sell us something, trying to say how bad. Listen, I ain't got time for that. I got stuff I got to do. I got to talk about these Commanders. I don't really have a lot of time to be walking around with you talking about plumbing for a whole hour. Right? That's not what we're doing here. That is not what we are. And I don't even know if that actually what y'all was talking about, but I think
that is not what we were talking about. That is not. All right, let me change your opinion. Hey, Deuce, what do you think about this? Of the folks that came on today, I think at least two or three of them named Darius Rush by name. What do you think about that?
Which is funny, right? This is the thing. And from the ref that we saw with him, it looked pretty good. Like, how long has he been with the team? About 2 years now?
Has he been here for that long? I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
I don't know why I always think about a basketball player when I think of Darius Rush. Who am I thinking of?
It was a guy named. Didn't he play for Kansas?
Brandon Rush? Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. He's like a left-handed shooter that played for Kansas, I think.
He was right-handed. He was right-handed.
Oh, okay. All right.
But the Rush I'm thinking about was left-handed, though, B.
Okay.
I thought it was a left-handed guy.
Kareem Rush. I think he's with the Lakers. Kareem Rush. It's some Rush. But anyhow, all right. So this is the thing when we're talking about these type of players, right? Can he beat out Moreau? That's the question. Has he done enough to beat out Moreau? One, and do they trust him enough?
I got two questions on that.
That thing that we kind of talked about with McNichols and Ford and Henry, when Henry I kind of showed us something that we wasn't expecting for him to show. At what point are they going to choose the vet over the younger guy just because he's a vet? He's been around the league. He's a locker room guy.
I think that we talked about Monroe, even in the process of building this defense. That's a Durante guy. He was there. He understands what Durante's looking for, even if it's just to pass a message. That's why I think Monroe would have a leg up on Darius Rush, on a Fred Davis. And I just put a tweet out yesterday about Fred Davis. Not saying he making the 53, but what if that's something they found? You know what I mean? Because he had a solid one-on-one rep yesterday, and like Cordell said, and we all know, these one-on-one reps, especially when it's receiver versus DB, they designed for the receiver to win. And if you even there, you did a good job. But to break the pass up, things of that nature, bro, like, yeah. So that's where I'm at with it. I think they'll lean more towards Monroe just because of the vet leadership, the vet knowing the system, played in that system. I think he played in about 12 or 13 games for them last year, stuff like that. So he knows exactly what Durante's looking for on that back end.
but and I agree, but the so I agree to an extent because he's only here because the dude wanted to be a skateboarder. Like Moreau, my favorite, he's only here because the other dude wanted to be a skateboarder. So how much does that? And this was what, 3 weeks ago. So how much does that really matter? And with Durante Jones, with
I
Fabian
mean,
Moreau.
I understand, but you don't know the timetable on that skateboarder, as you call him. You don't know when he's going to be ready and available because even someone that was in that room, they had to release to bring in a Fabian Monroe, you know, stuff like that. So, no, matter of fact, they didn't release him. He retired, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, he
Yeah,
retired.
that.
So
Oh, I
like all
thought
of
you
that
was.
happened
Oh,
the
my
same
fault. I
day.
had the skateboarder wrong. I had the skateboarder wrong.
Yeah. That happened the same
Yeah, I
day.
feel you. Yeah. But I'm speaking to Amos, like knowing that you don't know the timetable on this ankle injury. Yes, you were granted with signing because we signed Monroe, but the next morning the skateboarder retired. Now I got you. So yeah, I think that's what it is. But that skateboarder was in front of your Fred Davises, your Darius
Right.
Rush,
Yep.
your
Yep.
Knights, and
Yep.
things of that nature. So yeah, it's basically like, okay, let's get this one vet because the skateboarder was a vet as well. They
Yep.
replaced him with another vet that was already in the system.
Yep. And that's my question. Is like at what point, because Candy will be on a little bit after 10, right? And her thing is one of her things is you need vets. You need vets around, right? And we know how Dan is with his vets, right? And maybe tomorrow we remember, if we can remember, let's look at who are the vets on this team. How many vets do you need in a sense where that's not going to be heavily needed on a snap to snap basis, right? Like when we think about someone like Fabian Moreau, the object of it is not to see him on the field, right? Like that's the idea of it. Instead, like the idea is to have him in the room, to be a not so much a depth piece because we kind of made up our own thing on Riddle Radio. The Riddle way, we talk about starters, depth pieces. Our starters stretch out to like 34 players, right? Our starters, we consider guys that's going to have high snap counts on offense and defense, right? Regardless of if they're actually starting the game. Because if somebody doesn't have to start the game and have a higher snap share than the person that started. So it's more about your snap share week in and week out. Maru is one of those guys we're not expecting to have a huge snap share week in and week out.
Yeah.
Right? So how much does Darius Rush and Maru, like what's the difference between those two?
Dude, the number one thing is going to be age, bro. It is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the vet part of it, like the vet part of it. Like,
yeah.
Is that like having a Meek Robertson and how they talk about Mikey being like this guy that's above, he's a vet president, he's communicating, and they even showed a clip yesterday with him talking with Jacoby Lane after a rep, like they're really bigging him up, right? And then you have Nick Cross and you got Revo, who yesterday mentioned that he was the primary communicator. We need to talk about that because I need to figure out what that means because he said it, right? That he was a primary communicator in that secondary. You got Nick Cross. So you have vets on that defensive side, right? In that secondary, you have vets. If Maru is not that much better than Darius Rush, and Darius Rush is showing that you're developing him, how much is the vet going to matter? Like, I don't know. I think these are one of these situations where you have to be there day in and day out to see how they work.
Hey, but Deuce, what I'm saying when I say age is what's the age there? Because they both can be considered vets. But what's the age difference? Darius Rush and Fabian Monroe.
Yeah, let me see. Darius Rush, I think. Let me see how old he is. He's not that old. He's only been in the league like 2-3 years. Let me see. Yeah, so he's 26. I think he's 23. I think Pittsburgh in 23. I think.
Okay, then I'm going with Rush. Then that's what I'm saying.
And Fabian, and we drafted Monroe like years ago. So
and we drafted Monroe in the 90s.
In the 90s,
Monroe went to school with me. I'm just saying. Anyway,
so like I don't know. I don't know. I think you just said you want to just listen and be. So like I don't know. I don't know what that looks like, right? That's the same thing with McNichols. They love him as a vet. They love his presence. He knows what to do, right? He's I guess beloved in the locker room. But the one thing with him is when you ask him to do something on Sundays, he does it. He does it. Hands down, he does it.
Right.
Right. And he might not be someone that you are looking to do that on a consistent basis. That's not who he is. Right. You still need players that specializes in something. Rather you specialize in run blocking, pass blocking, catching, whatever it is, whatever you specialize in. And sometimes you need those dudes to come in and shift the tone of the game.
Right.
You need those guys. And usually those are vet guys that come in, calm everything down, and try to get things back on board for those young guys to get in there. And that's how they look at this is why McNichols has not been put on any type of injury designation yet. But I think he will once Sunday comes. Think they'll do that. But I don't know. I don't know if they'll do that. I don't know, Unc. Like, I think they'll just release him because they released Jerome Ford with the injury settlement.
Right.
And another player, I forgot, with another team, and I kind of posted out a few days ago where he was injured, they released him. And then because he cleared waivers, they was able to bring him back. I forgot what player that was. But again, I think he'll clear waivers if he has to. I'm still working on getting a full understanding of how this practice squad thing work with vets. So I don't think there's teams out there clamoring for Jeremy McNichols, right? I think we're the second team he's been on for like more than a year. And all the other teams was just like 1 year. So I don't think anyone's out there clamoring for McNichols. So I hope that they don't use him in that manner to hold up a spot for the final 53 just to put him on short-term hour after the original 53, because we already have like 5 players that we're going to have to do that for.
Right.
And the numbers is just not going to play in our favor. I hope they don't do that for him. But just the point about like having veterans on your team, I think is very important. But how many of those guys do you actually need?
For me, I think you need one. I don't think you need a super vet in every room, but I think you need a vet in every room. Like somebody who's seen the field, who, you know what I mean, who can motivate that room, help that room be calm in battle, to help people to see what's happening on the field. I think you need a vet in every room. But if the vet is not athletic enough or is not talented enough, you know, you got to have vets on that side of the ball, somebody who can come aside, right?
Mhm.
So on an offense, for instance, let's just say the running back room, because that's one of the rooms that I think Terry can help with the running back room.
Yeah.
If he needs to. If he absolutely needs to, Terry can help in that running back room, right? Meaning keeping them calm, letting them know, hey, just do your job. You know, everything's going to work out. We all here together, that type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I think that is the benefit that McNichols has had. He has been the guy who's been the ultimate team guy and who has produced, right, at the same time. And you're going the production, we shouldn't need it. But if you need that ultimate team guy, then I think you have others on the offensive side who can play that role.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I see it. Now, as long as the talent level is there, as long as the other guys are at that talent level, I really don't care, you know what I mean, about your veteranism if you can't play. I think that's what we got caught. We got caught in that a lot last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
People who can only take certain reps and things like that. You need people who can flat out play the position, not who can only play in certain circumstances.
Yeah. Nico said that video we played was the video of the final boss on Mortal Kombat.
The what part?
You know,
your
when
boy.
we played Nasty Mouth.
We gotta get some music because I just wanted to get him some bombs and clapping hands.
Oh man, Chuck in the building, Rudy shots. Riri says she don't understand why people throwing the whole season away already.
Tell him, Riri.
Cashy, if you don't practice well, how can you expect to play well? And nobody. An NFL practice squad consists of up to 17 players, one spot reserved for the International Pathway Program, who train with the team, earn a weekly salary, do not count against the salary cap. Veteran experience, up to 6 players on the squad can have unlimited NFL experience.
Oh, wow. That's way different.
Yeah. I need to. Okay,
That's way different, dudes.
Yeah, nobody. Can you send me? I would screenshot, but I can't. Oh, yes, I can. I'll screenshot it. Once you finish, I'll screenshot it. Because I want to dig into that. Because we got numbers game coming up. Numbers game.
You know who nobody is, right, dudes?
Yeah. I just figured out like 3 4 days ago. All this time, I did not know who that was until I was in the space and I heard his voice. I said, "Oh my goodness." All this time, that's who that's been. All right, Miss Use Your Clues, Seawall, Bowie TV Sports is in the building. Good morning, Candy.
Can y'all hear me? Hey.
Yep, we can hear you.
Candy.
Ooh, all right.
How you doing this morning?
You know what? I'm doing all right. Training camp is come and gone. And now one more preseason game to go, then roster cuts, and then it's the regular season starting next week.
Yep, then it's locked on. Yesterday we got a lot of videos, we got a lot of updates, we got a lot of tweets, right? And the timeline went absolutely insane. This is what you wanted. Like, this is what we wanted, and this is what you got. Candy, they asked for it, and they got it.
Yep. This is what you wanted. This is what you wanted. Like, everybody was quiet in New England. See, you gotta understand, the queen of Use Your Clues, the queen of receipts. I don't forget. I might forgive, but I don't forget. And how beat up did we all get for not saying anything
right
about the debacle that we watched?
Yeah.
It was, the Patriots media is da 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 da. No, we're trying to spare your feelings. That is what we're trying to do, because we know there is no right answer. There is no good answer. And we know that if we don't stroke egos and don't say every single solitary thing that literally every single solitary person likes, we're doomed.
Yeah.
So we chose the path of least resistance. Let's be quiet. And then we learned that it was not the path of least resistance. I said, well, you know what? Tell them the truth.
Tell them the truth.
Tell them the truth.
Truth shall make you free.
Tell them the truth. Tell them the truth.
All right, let's talk about some truths from yesterday. Overall, let's tie up last year into this year. Did it look as bad, or was it even close to what it looked like last year?
Oh no, it's better than last year. Let me be clear on that. Like it's not, and that's the thing, right? It's not what it was last year. Patriots joint practice, and that was like at the top of the preseason. It's not that. No. The team, you could clearly see that the team has made changes. They definitely have. That doesn't mean it was good. Let me be clear on that. But like, it's better than where they were, right? Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, they're dealing with injuries. And I know some folks may be thinking, oh, well, they're just like being cautious. No. These people are injured. Okay. And that is a challenge, the injuries. But there's still things that I liked way more than, the biggest issue, honestly, even with the injuries, the biggest issue from joint practice yesterday was the offensive line. That's it. That was the talk of it was the rightful talk of the practice. Mm-hmm. But I'm not disturbed. You know what I mean? I know some of the players, like Jeremy Reeves was very passionate and talking to us yesterday in his scrum about the slow start for the defense. He's not wrong, but I still gave credit where credit was due because I still saw a difference, right? I'm still seeing a difference in the defense, different from last year, but the stakes are so much higher. So I understand his passion, and he wasn't wrong at all, right? He's right, but I just thought it was still better. But the offensive line truly did steal the show of, you got to fix that or else this is just not going to go well.
So let me ask you about this timeline really, really quick. Mm-hmm. After the Lions game, head coach, we got to figure out the center position. A few days later, he tells you all, we have the talent we need in the room. And then we see that yesterday. What happened between after the Lions game to that practice when he mentioned that the time? Like, what happened in between that time?
Wait a minute. So let me go back. You're talking about Coach Quinn response that he feels like they have the talent on the team. So that was Monday.
Yep. And after the game against the Lions, he said, we got to figure out the center position.
Nothing happened. He just answered the question the way he answered the question.
I told you.
He just answered the question the way he answered the question on Monday. I shrugged my shoulders, right? Because here's the thing. I understood that if you're answering the question, even from a PR perspective, do you believe you have the talent on the rock? Yes. Okay. So that means perhaps you really think Nick Allegretti can do it, but he's hurt. And at this point, he has not practiced all training camp. Mm-hmm. Okay. So sure, you can have it on the roster, but this is why I continue to mention a good, healthy center. Mm-hmm. Right now, you do not have a good and healthy center on this roster. Do you think you have the talent? Yeah, sure. Yes, that's okay. All right. I can rock with you on that. But what's the real question? The real question is a good and healthy. That's where it lies for me anyway, because nothing changed. Hence why they had practice on Monday when it was originally scheduled to be a walkthrough. And the head coach, Dan Quinn himself, called Saturday a disarray because that's what it was. Mm. Like, that is what it was. Now, I even had some of my some of our media colleagues that were not in Detroit, you all know that I was there.
Mm-hmm.
Because you all know the center thing has been something I have been talking about since February. I have been consistent. I have said it on every show I've been on, including the ones on Bowie TV, of course. But like I've come on here, I've talked about it. I've talked about it. No, I could not have predicted an injury to Nick Allegretti. But at the end of the day, I knew there was no depth at the position. I knew it wasn't, it just didn't, it never felt right. From the moment Tyler Biadasz got released, and I think I told you all that story, right? I'm minding my business at Combine, watching Combine drills, watching Sonny Styles and other linebackers. You get the information, Tyler Biadasz has been released. Okay, why? They're in on Tyler Linderbaum. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I can put my hat in the ring. I'm going to be in on Tyler Linderbaum too, okay? That doesn't mean you're going to get him. Like, what is this? So this is a self-inflicted wound. We've been watching this since May, those of us on site. The question I got on Saturday was, I know we've been watching this, right? But on TV, it's jarring. Like, oh my goodness. Like the 3 snaps with the ones in there. What was it like in person? And I was like, it was just, it's one of those things that you all hear me say this all the time. Just because I'm right doesn't mean I want to be right.
Right.
Okay. I don't get any joy or anything out of being right about something like this. So, because honestly, being right about something like this now puts everybody in question to me. Right. Y'all know what I'm saying. It puts the leadership in question. Okay, because just the week prior, after preseason game 1, I asked about the center position.
Yes, you did.
I brought it right back up after preseason game 1 because I'm like, this thing is going to explode this week. And because I naturally, I'm still one, you all, that, okay, to me, it's bad enough for the fans who attended practice that you had to see that, right? But once it goes like public on TV, this is not good.
Right.
I would personally and professionally rather some things be hidden. I really would. Like, you know what? People don't even need this drama. You know what I mean? They don't even need this type of negativity. So, and you remember I was asking kind of late in the press conference. I went later in the press conference. Nobody still had asked about the center. I'm like, this thing is going to explode, you all. Nobody's going to ask this question. I'm going to ask it. And even in that response, Coach Quinn was like, we're thinking about trying Matt at guard. And I had to stop myself from reacting in the moment to be like, well, why would you do that? Like, I mean, I just, okay. But because I know I'm getting to know them so well, I said to myself in that moment, oh, he really thinks Nick is the answer. He really thinks this. And not only does he think Nick is the answer, that's number 1. Number 2, he actually thinks Nick is healthy. I never believed he was. And so I'm like, oh, you can afford for Matt to work in another position? Oh, come on. That's what I'm thinking to myself. Like, let me go to my next question. Right? It wasn't going to be good. And you all know that Bowie TV also covers the Baltimore Ravens. So I do spend some of my time with the Ravens as well. I spend all my, like the majority and all of my time with the Commanders. But when the Commanders are doing walkthroughs, we're not there, I go to Ravens. So I already knew what type of time that defense was going to be on. And I was like, Lord, have mercy. This is going to be bad. And then yesterday morning, then the knowledge that Sam Cosmi was out due to an illness, I had to really push through to watch that. Because I had dedicated myself, like, I'm going to watch the offense against this defense. It wasn't fun. It wasn't anything fun about it. And I know a lot of fans are upset because they're like, Candy's being so negative, or she's being, what else do you want me to be?
Right. This is what you want. Like,
this is what you want. You want to know the truth. And quite frankly, the fan base deserves the truth as well. Let me be clear on that.
Thank you.
The
Thank
fan
you.
base deserves
Absolutely.
the truth. I
Absolutely.
you know, what do people do when they care about you? They tell you the truth.
They tell you the truth. Absolutely.
Now, I think they're going to do something about this. I do believe that they're you know, because see, now it's on Front Street. Now even the Ravens reporters are like, man,
Yo.
that offensive line is bad. They can't do anything over there with that offensive line. I mean, and you know, I would just hate that this challenge with the offensive line, if it doesn't get addressed, I would hate for it to mask all of the good that has happened, because there's been some good things, you all. There really have. I would hate for this issue to mask all of the good, because it will. Like just like it did on Saturday, right? The defense rightfully came in there and bodied the Detroit's backups. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. They rightfully got off the field. Y'all done for the day. Nobody ended up caring. Why? Because you had to see what the offense looked like. It's not good.
Oh Lord.
It's not good. And that's why I was just like, you all can probably, each person, you all hosting the show and everybody listening can think about Saturday game against the Detroit Lions, and you can probably be very self-reflective and know and understand that you totally forgot about what the defense did because of how the offense looked.
Yeah.
It's going to mask it's going to mask all the good. And I'm not saying that it shouldn't, but like, you know, and Jaden's done everything right. He has indeed had a tremendous camp. All of the things. He was like, it was only 3 snaps. Well, yeah. Did you see why it was only 3 snaps?
I mean, even in the joint practice, right? Like they say he wasn't even, that probably would equal 3 snaps.
Yeah, because I mean, there were some good moments, everybody. There was 110% some good moments.
Yeah.
But you got to get, I mean, I was countless times I saw Matt and Julian just on the ground. They just get tossed. Like that Ravens defensive line just did not play. I mean, what you think they're going to do? For the starters over there, that's their game. The Ravens starters don't play in the preseason. So the joint practice is that's their game. And they came in there in game mode. What's Jaden going to do?
Let me ask you this, Kane. Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
What's the vibe on David Blau?
I like him. You know, if it's a me.
I mean, not so much from that. I'm talking about like from the joint practice. Like, did you when watching the O-line, watching him call plays, like what was his vibe like out there seeing that? Like nothing that he's all this hype that he's about this offense and him being excited, he's a play caller, let's go get it. Now he can't even show us.
He's kind of calm in that way. But I took calm as concern.
Mm-hmm.
Because do you want to lose your mind in front of everybody? No, you don't. But I'm taking that calm as concern, but also let me be clear. I have seen him look like that for the last couple of weeks now.
Yeah.
Right. So for me, being there all the time, it wasn't anything that I haven't already seen. Right. Like I watched this. You know what I mean? Like I watched this. You know what I mean? This is par for the course. My challenge is now everybody else see it. And you and leadership is still trying to play at everybody's faces like the house is not on fire. Yeah, it is. You know what I mean? Yes, it is. It's hot. Maybe you're gonna tell us it's not on fire. Okay, maybe it's not on fire, but it is hot in here. So something is going on. You know what I'm saying? So he's been calm. which I've already reading that calm as concern. Maybe other people might read it as like nonchalant or not caring because he's not, but that's just, he's thinking, he's still trying to strategize because this is still practice time. This is still practice time.
Right.
So he's trying to work through it as best as he can.
Right.
But
let me ask you this, Candy. Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Who, like, we're putting a lot of onus on Dan Quinn. He's the head coach, right? Like, rightfully so. How much say does Stapleton and David Blau and Anthony Lynn and David Wright, like, how much input do they have in deciding who starts in these offensive lines, specifically, like camp battles?
The position coaches do not have any say in who starts.
Okay.
They get them ready for the game.
Okay.
They can't talk about utilization. Sorry, they do not do that.
Okay.
That's Coach Blau and Coach Quinn call.
Okay.
That goes for all the position coaches, right? They can't say, Ken Norton has no say in who starts and who goes, all that. They just get them ready. They get them ready. And but the coordinator and Coach Quinn make that decision. I know I will also say, even when bringing in talent and who they want, what they want, that is the coordinator and the head coach.
Okay.
They tell
I'm
Adam
just
and team
wondering
what they want. They got to go out and get it.
Yeah, because I'm just wondering because this center thing, like he put Good Jones at guard, like it. Like I made a comment. You don't have to respond to this guy. I made a comment the other day about Dan Quinn put Good Jones at guard to say take this AP, right? Like, because that was a huge surprise to me when I saw you guys post that it was Gublin and Good Jones at center and right guard. Uh-oh, you hear that, Did you hear that?
It's good that I'm not on camera today. These are the kind of conversations where I'm like, it's audio only, right? This is a radio. Good. Thank you.
That's all right. That's all right, Candy. Hey, Deuce. Yeah. It's a new way to radio.
Yeah. New way to radio, man. All right, let's talk about some positives, Candy. Let's talk about some positives. How did our new wide receiver group look?
In team drills or one-on-one? See, that's where I got to bring context, and this is where people don't like.
I mean, I
guess
where
people don't like my feedback. I'm like, which one?
I guess the 3 plays on team drills that Jaden was actually able to get a football off.
Well, there were opportunities where even when he got the football off, there were drops.
Uh-oh.
Everybody, it was like this. Across the board, a lot of people had drops, right? Then a lot of people made plays. So, even, Chig had a drop, Terry had a drop, Stephon had a drop, Antonio had a drop. And then they all made plays too, right? You saw a little bit of both from your key names. Just being honest. Now you have to remember, the drops aren't what you're going to see in the highlights. But I'm the one who's going to take the full picture. Okay, yeah, that's great. I'm glad you caught the football because you just dropped it a moment ago. Like, you know what I mean? Like, thank you for showing up for your quarterback because he's.
And that's something we cannot do. When we get opportunities to throw the ball, you gotta catch it.
Yes, Jaden is back there fighting for his life. The least you could do is catch the football. Like, my goodness.
And I heard, like, full transparency, I heard Terry had drops. I heard Chig had some drops.
100. Yeah, that's what I literally just said. Like, Chig, Terry, Stephon, Antonio, all 4 of them had a drop. 100%. But then they, Terry had a good play. Chid didn't do as much as I would have liked to have seen yesterday, but it was, okay, it's still practice. All right. But, Terry came back, made a play. Yeah, Terry came back, made a play. Stephon Antonio as well. He made a play. But that's why I was like, do you mean in one-on-ones? Because you can all miss me with these one-on-ones if you're not going to, because it's not. And you know how highly I think of each one of these individuals that we're talking about.
Yeah, for sure.
But like the Baltimore Ravens defense is in mid-season form. They are a different breed. And maybe everybody had to get the jitters off, them first round of team drills. And then you got yourself together. Like, okay, I'm not facing my teammates right now. These people ain't the Dolphins. Oh no, this ain't the Dolphins. Okay, like you're up here in the Baltimore Zoo, baby. This is gonna be different. The one-on-ones is superb. Go ahead and beat Kyle Hamilton. Go ahead. I love to see it. But I literally told Lake and David Harrison, I said, but watch what happened in these team drills. There was one series where Kyle Hamilton single-handedly disrupted the entire series. And Lake just kept looking at me like, yo. I said, what'd I tell you? I'm going to let you get him on these one-on-ones. Because remember, that was one of the critiques of him coming out of college. Talking about he was slow, his speed. Yeah, but he's an athletic demon, and he is very smart. He knew where the football was at all times. That's why I'm like, yeah, these one-on-ones are dope. But get me to the team drills. It was different. It was different. That's why I was like, everybody like, she negative. Hey, listen, there's a complete story that needs to be told here. And again, I think highly of all of these individuals. I want them to do well because guess what, everybody? When the team does well, we all do well. The team, the media, content creators, everybody does well when they're doing well. So we need them to do well, quite frankly. Yeah, you beat them, y'all beat them in one-on-ones, but you know what I'm saying? Like, okay.
For the edge rushers, we know. I want to ask you about Owe and that calf strain too. So get ready for that. That's gonna be the final question coming up, Candy.
You might need to ask me another question after that because you definitely don't want to end the show with me on that note. You're gonna be like, come on.
All right, get a closing question together. Get a closing question together.
I already got a statement. I got a statement. Go ahead, dude. We gonna end it. We gonna end it on a good note. Go ahead.
So the safeties.
Okay.
How did they look yesterday?
I mean, it was fine. To Jeremy. I don't know if y'all saw Jeremy Reeves' clip.
Oh yeah, right.
From the scrum.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, right, and going back to that,
he said, "This is how you go 5 and 12." I said, "Whoa!"
I mean, so he answered the question. That's why I'm like, "Hey, listen, y'all. If you get mad at me, you don't want to believe me. Go watch Jeremy Reeves." People say, "No, he's supposed to say that." No. He's telling you the truth, and I tried to tell the truth. Hey, they had some high moments. They had some good moments, and they caused some havoc for Lamar Jackson and company. They did. They had their part of some offensive struggles as well on the Ravens side. But Revo he's a player. He's a starter. He's exactly right. It took them a minute to get there. It did. And they can't start out slow like that. He's 110% right. You all have to remember, it's practice. To us, these guys treat it like a game. So in their mind, if you saw disappointment, if you didn't see the smiles, if you heard passion in their voices, it is because they were genuinely upset. So sure, yes, the safeties got better today. I posted something with the one-on-one with Mark Andrews and Nick Cross. That didn't go well. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, okay, but it's about getting that pressure up front. when they were having the opportunities to blitz, to get that pressure along with the defensive line up front, remember a lot of the interior defensive linemen were out. They're out due to injury. And so you really got to get your linebackers and your safeties more pressure up on that line of scrimmage. As the day went on, they were able to do that. They were. I liked what I saw. I mean, did they still have some challenges with the bigger tight ends? Because they got some big tight ends over there with the Ravens. They were. And the taller receivers, but I like the coverage, the pressure on Lamar. I like the coverage on their running backs. It got better. It did. And of course, that coverage and that pressure caused Lamar to have problems. Even, that last play where it ended up being a pick, Mikey got it. That was due to pressure, to getting the pressure. That's what it was. That was the result of that pressure on that last play. They knew it was the last play. They brought the heat on that last play. And that's how it resulted in the pick.
All right. Including Owe, which one of these players that are currently injured right now that might not be there September 13th?
Well, let me just, Coach Quinn, and I guess because John Keim had asked about Trey Amos and Owe, so that he kept it to them. Mm-hmm. It was clear. Both of them may not be available week 1. And there are, Nick Allegretti is out of need, right? That's out of needing him to play, right? Do I think he's the best available center in like the NFL? No, but based on who's available on this roster, you need him all times, right? If and Trey Amos, I've been talking about that since the day I saw him get hurt again. And he just got shaken up, or maybe it's foot soreness. No, everybody, he's injured. And that is something to think about, you all. That is something to think about, all the excitement around him coming back, and now he's injured again. His first day of padded practice back, he's injured again. Question mark there for me. The two biggest to me is Caleb Vaughn, Chasen, and Odafe Owe. That's not good. They need those guys healthy. They need them healthy. If it's two, they need a healthy, good center, and they need their pass rush. Starting pass rush, healthy. That's the 3 big things for me. So when him admitting out loud, Coach Quinn, that, both Trey and Odafe may not be ready for week 1, I'm like, gosh, okay. So they need them in order to play at the highest of levels that they can, is what I'm saying. Yes, right. You can still play. Yes, it'll still be good. Okay, but do you want exactly how great you can look? And I don't think that really illuminates and shows itself without those 2 guys on your edge. And then remember Dorrance Armstrong is suspended week 1.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about that. Because he looked pretty good yesterday. From some of the things I've heard.
That's why I brought it up.
Oh my goodness. So we could be the one thing that we had great hope for, we might not have any of them, or like a few of them week 1 against the Eagles. All right, what you got?
I'm sorry, Candy?
Mm-hmm.
Candy, let me tell you what's going on at the Unk household, okay?
Okay.
Mama Unk went to sleep last night, and I was watching Candy. Mama Unk woke up this morning, and I was watching Candy. Mama Unk said, Unk, who is this Candy lady that you keep watching? I said, she's the clue. She is my football mystery. She's like my Agatha Christie for mystery football. I love her. But Candy, listen, what I'm saying is I'm following all the stuff that you're doing. I appreciate it because I know you're trying to tell us the truth without being negative, and being able to work at the site. So I know what you're trying to do. So I appreciate it. I just want you to know that your coverage is being watched by people like me who really appreciate it. Let's put that out there.
Oh, well, thank you so much for saying that. Because people been mad at me the last 24 hours, and I'm like, look, I tried to tell y'all this in May, and then nobody want to listen to me.
Yeah,
listen.
Yeah, right.
Woo! Remember when I gave out the list of who was battling for the center position?
Right.
He told us we only actually had one center on the roster.
Right.
Yeah. And I told you who it was. I said it was Matt. And then I said Julian Good-Jones and Nick Allegretti are battling for it. People was like, what? Nah, Julian Good-Jones is not battling for that. Yes, he is.
Because he mentioned it. I remember him saying, oh, after Allegretti got her, we got Julian Good-Jones. Who? The practice squad guy? Oh,
yep.
My gosh. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, so I just wanted you to know, I hear you. I appreciate you. Take the arrows for us now, but we will remember you forever. You will.
Yes, I mean, hey, look, I said that I was trying to spare people feelings last year, but now, no, man, because we're probably all in this together more than we realize. Like seriously,
we in it together.
Fans, it shouldn't be a bunch of media versus fans, in my opinion, because we all watching it. You know what I mean? Like
so what other real quick positive that Brandon and I were talking about earlier? Where is Darius Rush in your mind? Because his name keeps coming up in people's coverage, and I am trying to understand how interested am I supposed to be.
I think you need to be very interested because I brought him up on Saturday.
I know.
Special teams perspective, right? I was like, hey, man, hey, y'all. Like we sitting, it wasn't many of us there, but I'm like, hey, is anybody watching Darius Rush on special teams? He's making a case for himself. And I'm going to tell you all, after preseason game 1, Coach Quinn had glowing remarks about Darius's play on special teams. And let me also tell you this. I posted it on my Twitter. If you see it, you need to repost it.
Right.
1-on-1 with Jacoby Lane. And I was around some Ravens reporters. They were like, who is 29? Darius Rush.
Yeah, that's exactly what I heard.
29? Darius Rush. And I said to myself, Coach Jones is putting Darius on Jacoby?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, I think this might be a sleeper to add on your roster.
Yeah.
Put him on Jacoby? And it was pretty good. I only posted 1 rep, but it wasn't bad. I mean, Jacoby was the one who got all handsy and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I pay attention to that kind of stuff. Yeah. So I'm not saying he's making the team. I don't know anything for certain, but what I am saying is he has made a convincing case for himself.
Right.
If he does, like, I wouldn't be surprised at all. And I'm not sure he's someone that would make it to your practice squad, right? Like somebody might pick this kid up. And so, preseason game 1, he made some noise.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely preseason game 2. I'm like, is anybody seeing Darius Rush? And then, like I said, so that's 1, 2 clues. Yesterday in 1-on-1s, he was covering Jacoby Lane. And everybody knows all of the buzz around Jacoby Lane.
Yeah.
So,
and I didn't get super excited initially, Candy, because it was special teams. But like you said, when the buzz was he was shutting down Jacoby Lane in 1-on-1s, I was like, hold on, we must be thinking of playing this kid. What do we do? What's going on?
Yep. Because you got to remember, Durante Jones. I mean, this is a different defense. Oh, I think this is also an important point. because I pick up on things that other people say as well. Of course, Lamar Jackson had nothing but glowing things to say about Jaden. Glowing, he could do it all. Talking about Jaden, he can do it all. He could do this, and then just going down the list. His face, people's faces light up when they talk about Jaden Daniels.
Mm.
I mean, even the Ravens reporters were like, "Oh, Jaden," and they cover Lamar Jackson. And I'm like, I mean, he all right. You gotta play cool in these situations. He all right, okay. You know what I mean? You gotta play cool, like he all right, he okay. You know what I'm saying? But I'm paying attention to it because they were like alarmed for him yesterday. Like, oh my God, Jada's not gonna be able to do anything behind that line. He's really trying. He's really trying. He can't do anything. And I'm like, they more upset than me. Man, I mean, oh my goodness, he's just trying to do something. I'm like, ugh. So yeah, Jaden, they were going about Jaden, but Declan Doyle, the Baltimore Ravens offensive coordinator, in his presser on Tuesday, he was like, yeah, we just went up against the Vikings last week in joint practices, preseason game 2, and the Commanders' defense is a lot like the Vikings' defense. There you have it.
Ah, there it is.
There it is. Declan Doyle said it. If you don't believe me, believe Declan Doyle.
Believe Declan.
we
Here
did
I
have
am getting clues for us while I was here. I am getting clues for us. I'm over there covering them. I'm like, wait a minute. He just said something very important.
We did have one more question about what do you think the use of DJ Humphries is? And we have a whole lot of Candy. Thank you for your reporting. Thank you for being great. Thank you.
Oh yeah, what all the comments? I didn't see the comments. God bless you.
Yeah, because some reason like X StreamYard, like it's something going on that they're not showing on StreamYard anymore. So I got to look in the actual live app on X. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
No,
Deuce got to get the upgrade, Candy. That's all. Deuce got to get the upgrade.
Okay. No, thank you all so much. I can't do this without you all. And so you all supporting my coverage, supporting Bowie TV. It means a lot for those smaller media outlets like Bowie TV. There's talent all around. And you all are very talented. And I spend my time with people who value, the underdog, if you will. And so I appreciate it that you all recognize the questions, the content, the work overall. I know I have a different way of doing journalism, but it's investigative journalism and reporting nonetheless. But I just understand. I get it. And like I said, and want to reiterate, we all want them to do well. Please know that. And I think the world of every single last one of these guys on the team and the men and women of the staff that support them. But I got to call a spade when things aren't being done as well as they could be. So no, I appreciate you all for sure. Darius Rush is definitely somebody to watch, but I don't, offensive line depth, but I don't even know. It's like they need a whole do-over.
Yeah, because DJ Humphries doesn't really move.
Yeah, going back to your question with DJ Humphries, right? He's a depth piece.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I don't know. Now, I will say this, if we're talking patterns, if we're talking use your clues, every preseason this time of year so far in the AP and DQ area, they have made a trade.
Mm-hmm. It's coming.
Either for picks or play. They've done something. That something hasn't happened yet, but I remember when they traded John Ridgeway, I remember we were going through roster cuts and getting information on roster cuts, and it was like, oh, they traded John Ridgeway. I was like, when? How I missed that? And so something could happen. Now they could just be waiting for cuts and bring someone in. And I know folks don't like that idea. There is no perfect idea at this point in time in the season leading up to week 1, but I would be, watchful of who does get released from other teams at the center position. I would also be watchful if a trade comes, but who's really going to trade a center? You know what I mean? Trade their center or something like that at a time like this. if something were to happen in that regard, it's gonna cost them. So maybe they just wait for roster cuts. I'm just, there's gonna be something. I don't think based on what could happen if they were to trade somebody, I don't think the fan base would like that trade at all. Is what I'm just gonna give y'all a heads up on if it were to happen. But I also will say, roster cuts are coming. People are gonna be getting cut all weekend. Through Sunday early evening, late afternoon. So they might just do that. If there isn't a move made by Monday, not that you all need my blessing, but you have my blessing to raise all the hell you would like.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Seawall, Candy Waller, Bowie TV Sports. Misuse your clues. Thank you so much. And let us know again, like as always, how we can follow all of your content.
Hey, Deuce, that's the one lady that I had to explain my fandom to my wife to. I'm just saying, keep a brother out of trouble. Keep a brother out of trouble.
Tell her to tune in too. Tell her to tune in too. That's how you do that.
I love it.
You guys, the fastest way to get to me right now is through X, formerly known as Twitter. Make sure you're following me at Seawall SE. Please make sure you're also on there following Bowie TV Sports. If you're in Prince George's County, Maryland, we are on TV. Comcast channels 190, 1097. There. It's not just sports. We do a lot around HBCUs and HBCU athletics. We do a lot of DMV community news. People have now called us the feel-good station because we don't do traffic, weather, or like crime reports. We leave that to our colleagues on other channels to cover all that. So we try to keep it as positive as possible. Make sure if you don't have the television channel, you're not in Prince George's County, you can subscribe to Bowie TV on YouTube, and we're just across all platforms. You can find us. But if you want my content, the quickest way when it's football season, it's on X. So at Seawall SE.
There it is. Thank you so much, Candy. And
all right, thanks you guys.
Have fun tomorrow.
All right, we gonna try. If nothing else, I'm gonna have me a good time. Okay.
All right.
All right. Talk to y'all later. Thank you again.
Right, take care.
All righty. Bye bye.
Yeah, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We wanted to get everyone on here today, so we went a little longer than what we usually do, but we will be back tomorrow, 7 a.m. We have a few folks lined up tomorrow, trying to get some more in the building on tomorrow, 7 a.m. The Wake and Bake on X. You're already here, right? So get over to the Wake and Bake, which should be starting probably soon thereafter. Here, if it's not already started, I didn't look. I don't. Oh, not Glenn right here. So I don't think it started. So it's probably starting right after this. So get over to the Wake and Bake to talk more Commanders football and all things Commanders. What do you got?
You see, y'all getting me in trouble with my wife, man. I'm just saying.
Get used to it, huh? Get used to it.
But no, man. Hey, this was a great show. It was longer, but it was a great show from beginning to end. Everybody contributed who joined us, even the fans. The show is better when you guys comment, when you like, when you distribute, and when you make comments or calls. It makes the show better. So we appreciate everybody who participated and joined with us today. Humbly, we've taken some lumps a couple of weeks, but y'all know what my saying is. If you fall down and can look up, if you can look up, you can get up. So we're getting up. Have a great day, and I'll see y'all out in these Twitter streets.
See you tomorrow, 7 a.m. Good morning.